As the principal contractors and principal designers representative, you explained how you managed and coordinated the design and production of construction information from several different companies and organisations, covering civils, electrification, signalling, and E&M disciplines. Stop. You described how you had researched and proposed the use of a scramble crossing at Blackpool, and how you had initiated the greening of Blackpool city centre when the COVID-19 emergency led to restricted working on the tramway project. Your reviewers are satisfied that you meet the requirements of the understanding of the knowledge and understanding of engineering attribute at the C-Eng level. Add, you promoted and resolving differences. Add, you promoted the use of 4D open brackets, that is including time, close brackets, BIM systems for improving communications between the design and construction teams on both the Leeds tramway project and the Blackpool project as work proceeded. You also were active in developing a designer subcontract capability database for optimizing designer selection on design and build and designer novated contracts on all projects. Stop. 2. For your reviewer's comments on how you met this attribute, please see those for the knowledge and understanding of engineering attribute above. Your reviewers are satisfied that you meet the requirements of the technical and practical application of engineering attribute at the C-Eng level. Stop. 3. See comments under attribute 1 above as regards being the representative of the principal contractor and principal designer in the role of design manager, coordinating multidiscipline teams and promoting and contributing to the capability databases for design partners, etc. Particular examples include resolving clashes between signalling, electrification and track, and dealing with existing utilities for which previous information was either unavailable or incorrectly located on record drawings for both the Blackpool and Leeds tramway projects. Reviewers are satisfied that you meet the requirements of the management and leadership attribute at the C-Eng level. 4. For your reviewers' comments under this attribute, see under 3, and see those for attribute 3 above. Your reviewers are satisfied that you meet the requirements of the independent judgment and accountability attribute at the C-Eng level. 5. You assisted in the preparation of Form F10 to the Health and Safety Executive for the Leeds tramway project. You described your responsibilities of your employer as the principal contractor and principal designer, and of subcontractors designers under CDM 2015, including for temporary works. Stop. You described how changes variations to design and build projects were managed under the main contract, open brackets NEC3 option A and close brackets, and were allocated, and how responsibilities and costs and benefits were allocated shared between the participating partners. Stop. One such example was when work on the Blackwall Tramway project was partially suspended due to the COVID-19 emergency, and a tree planting variation was negotiated with the client and implemented to keep some of the workforce employed and to enhance the aspects of the town centre and engage the local populace. 5. Your reviewers are satisfied that you meet the requirements of the commercial ability attribute. Erratum. You are familiar with the forms of contract of the projects covered in your report and presentation. You oversee the quality, programme and cost matters relating to the work of your team and subcontractors on behalf of your parent company. Stop. 6. You described how, as design manager and chair of design team meetings, health and safety and welfare was the first item of the agenda, including statistics, particular incidents, lessons learned, and initiatives to reduce risks and increase safety of personnel, visitors and the general public. You described an incident in which a survey team working at night was involved in an affray with locals after closing time. This led to the reduction in unsocial hours working to reduce the exposure or conflicts with local people during night working, and, if unavoidable, the introduction of special preventive measures being taken, including specific notification of relevant authorities that the work was being carried out. Your reviewers are satisfied that you meet the requirements of the health, safety and welfare attribute at the CEng level. 7. You are very much aware that by their nature the projects on which you have been recently engaged, namely tramway projects, are inherently sustainable, and how they incorporate the 3 pillars of sustainable development. As mentioned previously, you were instrumental in the introduction of tree planting on the Blackwall project, and you understand that sustainability in construction does not necessarily mean minimising costs of the contractor. So does not necessarily mean minimum weight principles and minimum materials quantities when looking to reducing costs. Your reviewers are satisfied that you meet the requirements of the Sustainable Development attribute at the CEng level. Interpersonal skills and communication. 8. Your report, including your DAP and CPD records, your presentation and answers to questions, were interesting and stimulating, relevant and well presented. Your liaison work with engineers and others in your parent company subcontracting design organisations, your colleagues and team members seem particularly effective and productive. You explain the policy, ideals and high standards of your company on managing diversity in all its forms and how you agreed with them. You saw competence and appropriate assertiveness as the key to reducing discrimination. You would never, however, you would not allow inappropriate behaviour or comments by others to pass, but comments by others to colleagues or those accompanying you to meetings, or inappropriate behaviour to pass without action or consequences. Stop. Reviewers are satisfied that you meet the requirements of the interpersonal communications attribute at the CEng level. You are aware of the requirements of the ICE Professional Code of Conduct. Regard all the provisions as important, particularly competence, particularly not carrying out work for which you are not competent, though you regard, quotes, doing the right things, unquote, in particular circumstances as your governing principle. You encourage the engineers, junior engineers who report to you or work with you to undergo professional training and follow your example. You yourself are already an IEng member of the ICE and see becoming CEng as both a logical step in your own professional development and as an example to others. You are closely involved in ICE affairs and are presently chair of the ICE Manchester branch.